War is never a good time. Citizens of war-torn countries both past and present have witnessed shocking acts of barbarism committed by men against their fellow men. This is what history taught us, however. Today we will focus on events that occurred never discussed in history books due to their shocking and mysterious nature. We will talk about 10 shocking wartime mysteries that shocked everyone. Stick around until number 1, because if that doesn't shock you, then nothing will. And also, don't forget, who are you that do not know your history? Number 10. 17 British soldiers at Auschwitz. Auschwitz is a German prison camp, notorious for many things, which includes inhumane treatment of Jews, experimenting chemical weapons on them, and even mass murder. The gruesomeness of the war crimes committed here were so great that when the Allied forces finally took it over, freeing the remaining prisoners during the process was considered a huge victory and was heavily publicized. However, this great accomplishment may be tarnished forever because of a certain document that was found hidden in a bunker in Auschwitz itself back in 2009. The document contains a list of 17 names, all of which belong to British soldiers. The fact that such a list is found there of all places is a mystery enough, but seeing that some of the names had marks and symbols on them further heightened the mystery. Were these a list of German spies, or were they previously unreported POWs? Unfortunately, the world may never know. Number 9. The blood flag. Flags are used as a country's symbol of sovereignty. In some cases, they have been used as a symbol of power and to strike fear in the hearts of whoever sees them. This is exactly the case of the next entry in this list. Before World War II began, even before Hitler and his Third Reich came to power, the all-too-familiar Nazi flag came about. This flag already invokes fear and loathing to most people, but what happened to one particular flag literally made it a legend. During the fighting that followed Hitler's failed beer hall putsch in 1923, one Nazi flag was soaked in the blood of Nazi brown shirts, and Hitler then used this flag as a powerful symbol from that day forward. Hitler had many replicas made of the original bloody flag, as it was later called, to be used in rallies. However, the original one was last seen in 1944. No one really knows what happened to it, or if it even still exists. Some say that it was destroyed when Germany lost the war. Some say that the flag is still preserved, hidden away in a secret location. Of course, many people have come out claiming that the one true flag is in their possession, but none of these claims have been substantiated. Nonetheless, even the possibility of such a thing still existing is quite disturbing. Number 8. The Die Glocke. War and conflict is the perfect breeding ground for new and more effective weapons. Evidence of it is scattered throughout history. Just read up on the history of any revolutionary weapon. The chances of it being developed during times of conflict are very likely. Sometimes, even the thought of the development of an ultimate weapon is enough to strike fear in the hearts of your enemies, and a morale booster for your own troops. During World War II, Hitler was actively developing new weapons dubbed miracle weapons, and he purposely didn't hide this fact. Nazi propaganda published during that time always contained news about some wonder weapon that'll change the tide of the war in Germany's favor. Of course, almost none of it was true, with the weapons never even leaving the prototyping stage, and some were even just concept drawings. But in the year 2000, Polish journalist Igor Witowski reported on a quite shocking German miracle weapon called the Die Glocke, or the Bell. Igor described it as being bell-shaped and stands around 12 feet tall. He also said it contained 2 huge cylinders filled with a chemical called Serum 525. It is said that when this weapon is activated, it creates a zone around it. If any human being, or any living thing for that matter, steps within this zone, his blood would quickly coagulate, of course leading to certain death. There was no mention whether the Germans had actually succeeded in making this weapon work, although it is often said that many, if not all of the engineers and scientists directly involved in the development of this nightmare weapon all died terrible deaths, killed by the same weapon that they were trying to make. Number 7. The disappearance of Flight 19. Although this technically happened after the end of World War II, the sudden and mysterious disappearance of Flight 19 is very significant, mostly because it helped create and establish one of the world's greatest mysteries, the Bermuda Triangle. Flight 19 was a routine training flight, which flight's path included a fly over the notorious stretch of water where many reported disappearances have taken place. While flying directly over the triangle, the 5 Grumman TBM Avengers torpedo bombers off Flight 19 suddenly lost contact with air traffic control. Another airplane was quickly dispatched to do a search, a Martin PBM Mariner flying boat this time, but it too disappeared without a trace. It was assumed that all 6 planes crashed into the ocean, but the likelihood of all planes crashing at the same time is very unlikely. No wreckage of Flight 19 has ever been recovered, only adding more mystery to what befell the unlucky airmen of Flight 19. Number 6. The Nazi Gold Train. By the time April 1945 came along, it became pretty clear that the war was coming to an end, and they would get the shorter end of the stick. Legend has it that the remaining Nazis loaded a train from top to bottom with Nazi treasure, which included the gold, jewelry, and other valuables they've stolen from Jewish victims of the Holocaust. The train was sent on a track that went through the Owl Mountains, where it disappeared, never to be seen again. Many theories have been put forward to explain the disappearance of the train of gold. Some people say that this tall tale was merely a legend and there isn't a single shred of truth in it, while others say that the gold in the train itself still lies in the mountain, hidden in a secret facility called Der Ries, which was rumored to be built by the Nazis in that area. Many treasure hunters have tried their luck hoping to find this lost treasure, but the golden ghost train remains elusive, the treasure still lost in time. Number 5. The Pearl Harbor Ghost Plane. War stories and ghost stories always go hand in hand, which is highly understandable mainly due to the fact that millions of people died in every world war. Many have reported ghost sightings and apparitions in places where a huge battle had taken place, like Gettysburg. But these sightings are commonly just witnessed by one person at a time, and mostly by various ghost hunters or paranormal groups, whose brains are already preconditioned to see such things. Things are very different when a group of people all saw the same thing, even detecting the apparition by scientific equipment and cause an official search to be dispatched. On the 8th of December 1942, almost a year to the date of the Pearl Harbor attack, a radar station at Pearl Harbor detected an unidentified aircraft. Fighter pilots were quickly dispatched to intercept, but what they saw flying towards them was a Curtiss P-40 Warhawk, an American aircraft and one that was previously used the year before but subsequently decommissioned, so that's kinda why I was a bit of a shock. What further added to the mystery was the fact that the pilots sent to intercept the plane reported that it was riddled with bullet holes. They also saw the pilot, who was even able to give them a wave before the plane crashed to the ground below. A search party was quickly dispatched to investigate the wreckage, but no sign of a pilot was found, and only a diary was recovered. The diary stated that the plane came from the island of Mindanao in the Philippines, which was located 1,600 kilometers away. Number 4. The Battle of Los Angeles. Probably the most well-known and publicized wartime mysteries, the now called Battle of Los Angeles has divided people on what could have really happened on that fateful night of February 25, 1942. It happened just after the attack on Pearl Harbor, and the US was understandably suspicious of anything and everything, especially of unidentified flying objects approaching the airspace. The said UFO was spotted approaching Los Angeles, and witnesses reported that it was round and emitting a bright orange light. Almost immediately, searchlights flooded the UFO's location, and anti-aircraft guns bombarded the object with more than 1,400 shells. It was over in a few minutes, but when people were sent to investigate, not wreckage of the reported mystery object was ever found. The official reports say that the object was just a weather balloon, and the reaction of the military was just a case of war nerves. The whole incident was then silently swept under the rug. But what do you think? Is the US military covering something up? Or is this incident just caused by the trauma of war? Either way you decide, I'm sure we'll get an answer if we ever do storm Area 51. Number 3. Who turned in Anne Frank? Probably the most well-known personalities that was connected to World War II, Anne Frank and her family. Anne Frank was a young German Jew living in the Netherlands who was arrested by the Nazis for writing about her experiences during the Holocaust in her diary. We all pretty much know the story, but there is one part of this tale that still has no answer up to this day. Just who reported Anne to the Nazis, thus resulting in her arrest? Many suspects have been named by historians, but none have provided conclusive proof of who exactly that person was. I guess Anne's story will not be completely told in the near future, sadly. Now it's time for the day's best pick. So if you want to contribute to one of our videos or just want to find out more about a photo or video that you came across online, feel free to send it over and we'll do all the research for you and include it in an upcoming video. Number 2. The Tank Turret. Today's best pick is really quite mysterious and quite shocking at the same time, for lack of better words. To describe it, let's just call it as it is, tank turret, because that's literally what it looks like. It's a concrete structure with tank gun barrels pointing out of all sides of it, and upon closer inspection, those gun barrels are still connected to the tanks. This is some kind of a freakish super weapon developed by the Nazis during the war, as they were known to have done, or at least, claimed to have done. The truth is that no, this is no Nazi superweapon. It's actually a memorial in Lebanon, built by the Lebanese Military Museum. This 5,000-ton monument was designed by artist Armand Fernandez back in 1995 and is called the Hope for Peace. Funny how things turn out in the end when machines for war are turned into a symbol for peace.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
Number 1. Foo Fighters. Am I pertaining to the band formed by former Nirvana member Dave Grohl back in the 90s? Nope, not even close. Although it can be assumed that Dave got his group's name from the last mysterious object in today's list. Foo Fighters were the terms given to unidentified flying objects back in the day when the term UFO wasn't officially adapted by the US government. World War II pilots have consistently reported sightings of these unknown aircraft, often described as flying at an incredible speed, and able to maneuver effortlessly in ways no other aircraft can. There have also been reports of a few fighter pilots trying to shoot one down, but to no success. Are Foo Fighters just natural phenomena, such as a ball of lightning or St. Elmo's fire, like some people have suggested? Or are they proof of an advanced extraterrestrial race that are curious for the reason why our species are fond of war? What do you think? Which wartime mystery sent chills down your spine? Let us know in the comments section below. Want to watch more videos on the mysterious? Click on any of the videos you see on the screen. As always, thanks for watching everybody, and I'll see you all next time. Laters!